The term flagship killer and never settle has been synonymous with OnePlus when it comes to their phones. And in this situation, is that still going to be true with their new mid-range phone, the Nord 4, when it comes to battery life? Well, let's actually compare them in an unfair extreme battery drain test on mobile data only against some flagships, which are the S24 Plus and the iPhone 15 Pro Max, to see how they perform. Let's get into it. Now for the performance and battery specs, starting with the OnePlus Nord 4. It is packing a massive 5,500 mAh battery, and it is powered by the Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 3. And for the Galaxy S24 Plus, our variant is powered by the Exynos 2400, and it is packing a 4,900 mAh battery. And for the iPhone 15 Pro Max, it is packing approximately a 4,442 mAh battery, and it is powered by Apple's A17 Bionic chipset. Now for the parameters of this extreme battery drain test between the Nord 4, S24 Plus, and the iPhone 15 Pro Max, anything that actually inhibits the performance for battery for us to make sure we get the most consistent performance across the board for all these devices, we have disabled. Now, one thing that we're really going to be touching on is things like the display settings. For the OnePlus Nord 4, we've actually pushed the display settings to as high as resolution as possible. Obviously, it's on 120 Hz adaptive as well. And for the performance profile, we've not put the performance mode on, we've disabled it. Now, I've done a previous test with the OnePlus 12R to show the difference with it on and off, and you can pretty much go watch that to see if it makes a difference, but we've just kept it off by default. We've obviously checked that the software update is on the latest and everything is up and running as it should. And of course, when it comes to how we've put it for this Galaxy S24 Plus, what we've done this time around, because this is the second extreme battery drain test we're doing on the S24 Plus, is actually change the performance profile to light. Go watch our original one where we actually left it in the standard profile, so you can actually judge and see the difference between the two to see if it helps. And in fact, we've actually kept the display resolution at 1080p. Again, I've also done another extreme battery drain test where I compared the difference between FHD as well as QHD, so definitely go check out to see if we've debunked that myth, to see if it really makes a difference. But yes, in this particular situation, light performance profile on the S24 Plus, and we've also made sure that all things that hindered performance for the battery dipping has been disabled, so we get the best performance possible. We've checked the latest software update to make sure it's also up to date as well. Now, obviously with the iPhone, we don't have such profiles, but we do check that the battery health is still 100%. I've looked after it, so it should still be more than good enough to go when it comes to it. 120 Hz is on, and we've pretty much set it in play to make sure that we've got the latest software update, which should be iOS 17.5.1 at the time of this recording. Now for the display calibration, any form of adaptive or auto brightness has been disabled, and I have tried my best to calibrate all the displays as close to 200 nits as possible. And with our extreme battery drain test, we are only doing this on mobile data only with no Wi-Fi option. With that out of the way, let's get into it. Let's start things off with this extreme battery drain test between the OnePlus Nord 4, the Galaxy S24 Plus powered by the Exynos 2400, and the iPhone 15 Pro Max. And I know, yes, this is an unfair battery drain test. How am I comparing a mid-range phone that's £429 from what I've been told compared to these flagship phones that are £1,000 and more? Well, let's pretty much see how well this Nord 4 is going to punch above its weight class when it comes to this extreme battery drain test. And of course, when it comes to our extreme battery drain test, we do shoot it as one continuous video and only speed up in the important places, so you don't have to sit there for hours like I had to. So if you appreciate the effort and the detail that goes into our extreme battery drain test, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn the notifications so you don't miss any future videos on the Lover of Tech channel when it comes to especially our extreme battery drain test. And we are doing this on mobile data, so it should be an accurate depiction of a controlled environment for the real world when it comes to battery drain. So we're pretty much going to be putting it through its paces when it comes to our popular applications. And obviously the first one that we are going to do is going to be TikTok. And obviously TikTok is like the wicked Wild West when it comes to consuming content as well as posting content there. So if you want to see more vertical based content from us at Lover of Tech, then be sure to follow us over on TikTok at Lover of Tech BA. That'll be greatly appreciated as well. So as we're going through, we're pretty much going to be taking a look and seeing how the battery pretty much holds up across the board when it comes to these devices. And of course, the Nord 4 is packing a massive 5,500 mAh battery compared to the 4,900 on the Samsung and approximately the 4,442 milliamps on the iPhone 15 Pro Max after 1 hour. 96% battery, 36.5 degrees Celsius minus 4% battery loss on the Nord 4. 86% battery, 41.4 degrees Celsius, minus 14% battery loss on the Samsung, and then 90% battery, 40.3 degrees Celsius, minus 10% battery loss on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Again, this is the second extreme battery drain test that we've done on the S24 Plus. All updates have been put on it, but we have put it into the light performance profile this time. So go watch the first one that we did that was in the standard performance profile and just see, is it really going to help it in any way, shape, or form? Next app is definitely going to be Instagram, and we're going to be doing an hour of Instagram Reels. And I've said it, Instagram is pretty much one of my favorite social media platforms right now when it comes to pretty much keeping up with people, when it comes to sending things like memes, Reels, and also behind the scenes where we're posting stories about upcoming content, what we're doing in terms of how we're shooting it, and of course, upcoming product launches and things like press trips. So if you want to see more BTS from us at Lover of Tech, follow us on Instagram at loveroftech_BA. Now, 88% battery, 36.8 degrees Celsius, minus 8% battery loss on the Nord 4, 72% battery, 41.5 degrees Celsius, minus 14% battery loss on the Exynos 2400 S24 Plus, and 75% battery, 40.3 degrees Celsius, minus 15% battery loss on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. So the iPhone 15 Pro Max took a hit when it comes to the performance efficiency, when it comes to the battery drain. But yeah, the Nord 4, without the performance mode active, man, this is efficient. So we're going into probably one of the most intensive parts of our extreme battery drain test, which is 1 hour of Instagram Live. And of course, this is really pushing the nature of actually how it does this, as well as it's running on mobile data throughout the hours we're going through. We're going to see how they hold up, and it's going to be a tough one across the board when it comes to how it is. And yeah, the Samsung was really struggling when it comes to heat management here, because it was toasting up above 50 degrees Celsius, hence why it was just turning off the front-facing camera a lot. I noticed this first time I'm seeing this, it was a real struggle. When we get to the 3 hour mark, we are looking at 74% battery, 43.1 degrees Celsius, minus 14% battery loss on the Nord, 48% battery, 51.5 degrees Celsius, minus 24% battery loss on the S24 Plus, and then 53% battery, 43.6 degrees Celsius, minus 22% battery loss on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Wow, the Nord 4 is beasting through. Looks at the optimizations with this Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 3, the big battery, and the software optimization. It's really working magic. Boy, the Samsung has dipped below 50%. It's really, really hurting. And of course, the temperature reading as well really does say a lot. Next is going to be YouTube. And it's going to be 4K 60 streaming over mobile data. And this is with our definitive camera comparison of the S24 Ultra when it first came out in January versus the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the Pixel 8 Pro. It's about an hour, 20 minutes. If you're going to watch back and see that, yeah, definitely feel free. This one was a struggle for the Samsung because it was really struggling to actually maintain a buffering rate of 4K 60. And in fact, I had to kind of like scale it down for it to allow it to go through. It was getting hot as well. So this is something to really consider. The other two, much more consistent. And after the hour mark, 4 hours that we've gone into it, after YouTube, it's 61%, 38.8 degrees Celsius, minus 13% battery loss on the Nord 4, and then 32% battery, 40.5 degrees Celsius, minus 16% battery loss on the S24 Plus, and then 34% battery, 39.8 degrees Celsius, minus 9% battery loss. Very efficient on the iPhone when it comes to that run, with only single digits percentage loss when it comes to the battery. Really, really good to see when it comes to this. But yeah, Samsung's really hurting when it comes to this one. Now, this is an hour of YouTube music, and of course, is pretty much one of my favorite rap projects and albums of all time. Kanye West is College Dropout. And this is the album. Once I get to it, man, it really does give it a boost because it's a tiring experience having to go through this extreme battery drain test. And for me, the track that was really getting me in the groove was Kanye's Workout Plan. Yeah, once I heard it, I was in the groove. That's right, put in work. Yeah, so that track really did the wonders. So yeah, let me know. What's your favorite track on this album if you do like it just like I do? After 5 hours, 50% battery, 36.6 degrees Celsius, minus 11% battery loss. And then 17% battery, 39.7 degrees Celsius, minus 15% battery loss on the S24 Plus. And then 15% battery, 40.3 degrees Celsius, minus 19% battery loss on the iPhone. iPhones don't like YouTube music at all. And of course, I'm guessing it's going to be much more efficient when it comes to things like Apple Music and maybe Spotify, but YouTube Music is my choice because I've got YouTube Premium and it comes with it. And it's what I use to listen to my music. Next is going to be X Spaces, or is it Twitter Spaces? Are you X or Twitter? Let me know in the comment section below. And this is where we jump into Twitter Spaces, where it's a broadcast room where we have discussions with other creators, as well as obviously the audience that follow us on what's happening in the week of tech, as well as just general conversations as we go through. And as we push through, we can really see that this is quite intense on the S24 Plus and the iPhone 15 Pro Max, where they could probably not make it to the 6-hour mark, where the OnePlus Nord is just cruising with a good amount of battery left in a high to mid 40% range. But it does make it to the 6-hour mark. 42% battery, 36.0 degrees Celsius, minus 8% battery loss on the Nord. 3% battery left, 40.7 degrees Celsius, minus 14% battery loss on S24 Plus. And same goes for the iPhone 15 Pro Max, 3% battery left, 39.3 degrees Celsius, minus 12% battery loss. Ooh, now when we get to the 4K 60 recording on the camera, we know Samsungs have a reputation where they drain much quicker. Even if we're seeing the same battery percentage as on the iPhone, they drain a lot quicker when we see that recording in 4K 60 in the camera. And we're gonna pretty much get here and we're gonna see that first to go is going to be the S24 Plus, 6 hours, 2 minutes, and 51 seconds. A final temperature reading of 41.8 degrees Celsius. Third place is the Exynos powered S24 Plus, 4900 milliamp hour battery. Yeah, par for the course, 6 hours. This is pretty much what we're looking at. And the last few percentage on the iPhone, as we're wrapping up and we're going through, it is pretty much looking to back in at 6 hours, 7 minutes, and 6 seconds. A final temperature reading of 40.9 degrees Celsius in second place. And boy, where the Galaxy and the iPhone are done, the OnePlus is cruising, and the amount of batteries got in there is more than sufficient, where you probably need about 23 to 25% battery to be able to record 4K 60 continuously for 1 hour. This is probably the second most intensive part of our extreme battery drains. It's probably the least realistic version of the test, where, you know, recording continuously 4K 30 or 60 for an hour, very, very tough and strenuous. But if you can make it through this, boy, your phone has got exceptionally good battery life, and it does for the Nord 4. 7-hour mark, you still have 26% battery left, 38.8 degrees Celsius, minus 16% battery loss. If I'm comparing it to the OnePlus 12R that we did previously without the performance profile on, boy, this is actually ahead of it. Now we've started gaming with Asphalt 9, and with that amount of battery, it's actually probably going to make it into the next interval, which is WhatsApp video call. Only one other phone at the time of this recording that we're doing this, which is Sunday the 14th of July, 2:30 a.m. in the morning, within the same week commencing, it's the CMF Phone 1 that actually made it to the 8-hour mark for WhatsApp video call. And it looks like, as we're going through, this is going to be the case for the Nord 4. And it does reach the 8-hour mark. So yeah, 12% battery, 39.4 degrees Celsius, minus 14% battery loss. Now we've got a mega battle on our hands for who wants to take the crown at the time of this recording, at this time of year on the Lover of Tech channel with our extreme battery drain test, to be the new reigning champion. Is it going to knock off the CMF Phone 1 within the same week? Boy, as we are powering through with WhatsApp video call that's actually happening on mobile data, you are seeing it drain in real time, 5% at 8 hours and 25 minutes as we're pretty much going through. Now, the CMF Phone 1 did this in 8 hours, 51 minutes and 5 seconds. Is the Nord 4 going to catch it and beat it? Last 1% as we're draining through. And it actually packs in at 8 hours, 47 minutes and 3 seconds, 4 minutes short. And that's what we pretty much have here. This, at the time of this recording, is the second best performer in our extreme battery drain test on the channel on mobile data only. So in third place is the Exynos 2400 powered Galaxy S24 Plus with a finishing time of 6 hours, 2 minutes and 51 seconds. And you know what? It's par for the course. In our previous one that we did, it actually did a bit worse. It's actually done better this time around, so I'll take it. But yeah, for 4,900 milliamp hour battery for flagship phone, is this what we should be expecting? Should it be more, at least 7 hours, right? But yeah, is what we have, pretty much 6 hours. Third place, S24 Plus, finishing time 6 hours, 2 minutes and 51 seconds. And in second place is the iPhone 15 Pro Max with a finishing time of 6 hours, 7 minutes and 6 seconds. And for approximately having a 4,442 milliamp hour battery, iPhone's really optimized well. Now, personally, in my experience, I have seen them perform better, sometimes up to 6.5 hours. So it can vary based on the run and how intense it can be. But this is what we have here for the iPhone 15 Pro Max. And this is the most expensive phone out of the three, well over a good amount past £1,000. So yeah, this is what we're getting in second place. iPhone 15 Pro Max, finishing time 6 hours, 7 minutes and 6 seconds. And in first place, With a finishing time of 8 hours, 47 minutes and 3 seconds, the OnePlus Nord 4. At the time of this recording, like I said, 14th of July, Sunday, 2:30 a.m, early hours of the morning. I'm just gonna give perspective of how god tier the battery life is. It's only 4 minutes behind our current reigning champion at this time, which is the CMF Phone 1. So just thinking about that is crazy compared to the other two, right? And the charging test video is next, so definitely feel free to watch that. These phones, such as the S24 Plus and the iPhone 15 Pro Max, could have died like they did, charged to 100%, and the Nord would have still been going when it comes to battery life. And in terms of their recharging time, you're gonna see it's also an advantage. So that is just crazy to think that it's gapped the other two by like a good almost extra 3 hours by 2 hours and 45 minutes, 40-minute range. That's insane. For the price that's been asked here, how battery life like this is, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And the last one that pretty much did this from OnePlus that we tested was the 12R without the performance profile on. That did it in 7 hours and 56. The Nord 4 just wiped it off the floor. This is crazy. And if it actually completed the whole WhatsApp video call, we would have to lap it again from TikTok. So just put that in perspective. This type of battery life, especially with how we test it, which is very extreme on mobile data, is incredible. Gotta give it to the Nord 4. Second place overall when it comes to battery champ, but first place in our extreme battery drain test for this particular one against the S24 Plus and the iPhone 15 Pro Max with a finishing time of 8 hours, 47 minutes and 3 seconds. Are you just as amazed and shocked by just how good a battery life is on the Nord 4? If so, let me know in the comment section below. That's it for me, Ben from Lover of Tech. If you enjoy videos like this, you know exactly what to do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you're part of Team TLS, the Tech Lover Squad, so you don't miss any future videos on the channel. I hope you're all safe during this time. I will catch you in the next one. Peace.